Welcome to the World History 1 lecture series. At the end of each slide there will be a 10-second delay. Use this time to pause the presentation and complete your notes. When you are done, push play and you will move forward. This lecture will begin in 5 seconds. Welcome to World History 1 Lecture 3.3 on the development of Indian religions. Now, before we talk about religion in India, let's step back and talk about world religions. We tend to break religion up into two big groups: Western religions and Eastern religions. Now, the people who are in the blue areas, they predominantly practice Western religions. They're practicing Judaism, which we learned about last unit, Christianity, which we'll learn about soon, or Islam, which we'll learn about after we learn about Christianity. The people in the red area in Asia practice Eastern religions. Eastern religions include Hinduism, Buddhism, Chinese philosophies, and Shintoism. Today we're going to focus on two Eastern religions: Hinduism and the reaction to Hinduism, Buddhism. And both of these religions can be found in ancient India. Go to the next slide. We study ancient India because this culture shows us how a civilization grows and develops. Well, the same holds true for Indian religions. In fact, we're going to see one religion become established and a second religion come along as a reaction to the first religion. Now, the original religion in India is Hinduism. Hinduism is recognized as the oldest organized religion in the world. It dates from 2000 BCE and maybe as far back as 5000 BCE. There is evidence that Hinduism might have started in the Neolithic era. Now, the origins of Hinduism are a blend of Aryan and Dravidian beliefs. Because of this, there is no specific founder of Hinduism. There's no one person who founds this religion. Instead, the religion comes together from a blending of other people's beliefs. And the location of Hinduism remains within the Indian subcontinent. Hinduism has not really spread beyond India. Go to the next slide. Hinduism is the world's oldest recognized religion and possibly the most complex as well. It is not a monotheistic religion, but it might not be a polytheistic religion either. So here's how it works. There is one major deity called the Brahman that shows itself in many forms. The Brahman is like the universe. It's the spirit around us. And it shows itself in the forms of three gods called the Hindu Trinity. The Trinity includes the Brahma, the creator, the Vishnu, the preserver, and Shiva, the destroyer. But splits within the religion allow for other deities and even monotheism. You can be Hindu and you don't have to worship the deities we just talked about. There are sacred writings, though. The Hindu sacred writings are the Sanatana Dharma, which is the eternal teaching. That's the main book. And that includes the Vedas, which shows us the Hindu foundation, and the Upanishads. That's Hindu theory. So we have sacred writings, we have one major deity, and then we have the Hindu Trinity. Go to the next slide. Indian civilization will develop the caste system as it grows, and Hinduism as it grows will incorporate the caste system. The caste system is a fundamental part of Hinduism. Hinduism uses the caste system to create a pattern of life, death, and rebirth based on these ideas. The first is reincarnation. That's birth into a caste after a previous life. And as you learned last class, once you are born into a caste, you cannot move into another caste during your lifetime. Instead, you have to follow your dharma, which is a set life path based on position to sustain balance. In other words, can you live the life you're supposed to live in your caste? If you do, you'll get karma. That's judgment and rebirth based on your choices. If you lived according to your dharma, if you lived according to the way you were supposed to live in your caste, you'll get good karma, which is what you're looking for to reach nirvana. That's the ultimate escape from the cycle of life and death. If anything, having good karma will help you when you die and move into a higher caste. What does this do? It keeps people in Indian civilization from trying to move between castes during their lives. Go ahead to the next slide. Hinduism becomes the main religion of ancient Indian civilization, and it is still the main religion on the Indian subcontinent today. But there will be a reaction to the fact that it takes a Hindu several lifetimes to reach nirvana, and that reaction will be seen in Buddhism. Buddhism is a reaction to Hinduism. Buddhism is founded in 520 BCE by Siddhartha Gautama. You know him as the Buddha. He's an Indian prince from what is now Nepal. Nepal is a country that runs along the Himalaya mountains. It's between India and China. The big difference from Hinduism is that Buddhism allows for the achievement of nirvana in one lifetime. Buddhism is still an active religion today, and the Dalai Lama is the current leader of Buddhism. Go to the next slide. Buddhists believe there is a different way to reach nirvana than having to go through the caste system. They follow the Four Noble Truths in the Eightfold Path, and here's how this works. Buddhists accept these four noble truths about life. All people suffer. People cause their own suffering. We call this selfishness. People do not have to suffer, and if you follow the Eightfold Path, you can end your suffering. So Buddhists follow the Eightfold Path to reach nirvana, which they call enlightenment. And you need to do the following things. You need to have proper understanding, proper attitude, proper speech, proper actions, proper livelihood, complete or full effort, complete or thorough awareness, and mastery of meditation. You follow the Eightfold Path, you accept the Four Noble Truths, and you will reach enlightenment. Go to the next slide. Buddhism starts in India, but it's going to spread to other parts of Asia, and it will be the predominant religion in many other Asian countries today. Here's how it spreads. In 260 BCE, Asoka, who is the Hindu ruler of the Maurya Empire, leads an invasion that leads to massive loss of life. He doesn't follow his dharma, and that ruins his karma. He's a bad, bad man. So, Asoka converts to Buddhism so he can still reach nirvana in his lifetime. In other words, Buddhism saves his bacon. He becomes a Buddhist and he will be able to reach nirvana in his lifetime. Because of this, Ashoka then sends missionaries to parts of China and Asia to spread the word of Buddhism, and Buddhism will ultimately spread to the Korean Peninsula and Japan. Buddhists are in China, they're in Korea, they're in Japan, they're in parts of Southeast Asia. That's it for this lecture, and I look forward to seeing you in class.